And we're live. Hey everybody, it is nice to be here, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for the next hour. So this shall be a good time. I got my computer here so that I can do lots of question answering, and we're just gonna have a good old time. So I'd love to answer any questions. It could be game related or it could be non-game related. It doesn't really matter. But I'm here, and it should be a good time. So I'm gonna just casually play the game while I kind of just hang out with you guys. This new trials that they do here is quite the grinder, especially at the higher levels. So I'll probably be popping one of those off every 3 minutes or so. So yeah, it'll be a good time. Hey James. Hey Android. What's up, Mid? Jess? What's your ideal night out? So it really depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes it's like, dinner and a movie is like super chill. And other times I really have a good time, getting into a group friend setting. So that is one of the things that I like to do when I'm not home on Rise of Kings. Hey, what's up, man? Thumbs up. Peace symbol. Does that mean you're peacing out? Don't peace out yet, man. So anybody else got any other questions? Let's start knocking some of these out while you guys are on. Thank you for sharing, Jess. I appreciate it. I really do. Let's see. Let's throw. So this event, such a grinder, and anybody that's played with me before knows I'm quite lazy in some regards. I will grind for an hour or two, but if it takes more than that, ugh. Chillin' like a villain just arrived. Thanks for the tips. You're welcome. Yep, I am a slacker for real. So, a bunch of my teammates actually just went ahead and destroyed a bunch of these little lizard men earlier, and I was not a part of it. Unfortunately, I had things like work to do. So who's the slacker now? All the people playing video games instead of working like myself. So, say hi. Yeah, I wish I had more pull with Rise of Kings. I think things would be ran a little bit differently if I had any pull. Yeah, if I had pull, trust me, I would be saying a lot more than what I say right now. So I put out a video a little bit earlier about some of the battles I had with Gideon and Bij, and those went pretty decent. I won 3 out of 4, and I've noticed that the thing that I noticed the most, you can see that I've I've tried out quite a few different things during this period. Some failed, some were successful. But the thing that I noticed on the fourth loss that I had, I think, was it this one? Nope, that's not my report. Where's mine? I think this one? Yeah, I think this is it. So as you notice here, I lost. There's, not a huge difference in kills. More than I would like. About 145,000 difference in kills. And as you can see, there's quite a bit of money poured into one account and compared to the other. So the fact that I won the first three and lost this one in this way doesn't bother me too much. I don't think they're wrecking the platform. I think that they tried to do something positive and ended up breaking it a little bit more than helping it. There's some aspects of the new update that I very much really like, and I appreciate those a lot. And I'm not terribly worried. I think that some of the updates will be altered and changed. And, just slight adjustments will help the quality of life in this quite a bit. But the thing I noticed in the fourth report that I didn't have in the other ones was my T10. I had gone through pretty much all of my T10 except for 4,000, and those 4,000 did not do what the in the other reports that the others did. So I had approximately on each hit anywhere from 300 to 400,000 T10 infantry in there. My goal is about 200,000 to 300,000 in my castle when I get rallied. And that really helps bring out life in the other troops. As you can see here, my T11 didn't do the best. I had T9 in there because I'm doing the whole promoting thing with the troop switch, which I'm not going to get too into that before Mid loses his shit and goes into a rampage. But the archers do quite well. I'm very happy with the archers in defense. I really suggest having a good chunk of archers, especially when you're going up against spearmen rallies. All right, let's read what you got going here. The tactics are awesome. The T11 players are wreckers. Also, hey, thanks for watching, man. I think that if you are a legendary 2 and below, a legendary 2 or below, you're going to have the opportunity to take a lot of solos that other legendary 3s and aboves aren't going to get to take, and you can really get great results out of those because often there's really big players that are used to running over a lot of players, and if you can set your castle up right, you can take quite a bit of solos and win a majority of them. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that these duels they hurt. I don't like them. I did try and test Mori on the wall on I think the third rally, and I didn't like the results as much. Yeah, here they are. As you can see, a very small kill-death ratio, and I did not fare as well with this than I did in the two before. So let's look at those two. Here they are. Okay. Oh, that's not my report. They all get brought into one here. All right. Okay, so you got this one. This is the first one that I took. As you can see, I felt pretty good about that with 200,000 kill differential, with, you know, I had a fair chunk of small troops die in this. As you can see, it's mostly T11 with a small dash of T10 infantry. And yeah, I mean, a good chunk of that died, and then I had some T9 die, and then the rest just cleaned up. And then my reinforcements, they did quite well too, with more archer reinforcements. Okay, but yeah, I mean, I think that I liked what my Ren did in comparison to the Mori, which doesn't make as much sense to me logically, but results, tend to outdo logic sometimes, especially in this game. Yeah, I got some pretty bad sieges here, I guess. These are some rallies I tried with Ogd and Jansen. I'm curious to see what's inside these. Yeah, we just did not fare very well in that. I don't think these are full either, but look at this. He just has straight up infantry in there. This is where maybe an archer rally could have done better, but I do not have a great archer rally set up at the moment. I'm working on it. Have you tested your Errata Rin combo yet? My Errata is still at level 80, and I don't really feel comfortable making any observations on her until I have her at a level 100. Level 100, because then I can feel a little more confident in her ability, which is the main thing about her that's the best. And I don't even think I would. Maybe I'd do a Ren, but most likely I would usually stick with probably Jansen, and if not Jansen, then maybe even Raffi, because at that point I kind of, well, maybe even Ogd. It really all depends on what's attacking me. So if we're looking at, let's say, if we were looking at a Bij and Gideon combo coming at me, if I had a good errata and I had the proportions between the infantry and the archers like I would want, I'd probably do a Jansen errata combo. So that way I'm still getting the reflection damage from all the infantry I have, and then I'm utilizing Errata's skill ability right here at the bottom that does the poison damage to the attacking infantry. Now, if I was being attacked with a Gideon Jansen combo, I'd really have to reconsider how I would want to go about taking that on, considering any damage I do to them is going to be reflected to me, and any reflection damage I'm going to do is going to be, it's kind of crazy. I actually don't even know if Jansen's reflection damage can be... No, because it says that reflection damage can't be countered, so I'm guessing it can't be reflected right back. So I guess it stops right there. Yeah. I think that a Jansen errata combo for a wall is probably going to be pretty solid. especially if you have your account built that way. Um, Not exactly probably smart of me, but we'll look at my troops right here real quick. As you can see, I'm very strong in the infantry, at least for my level and where I'm at. And then I have approximately 700,000 cav and close to 500k trebuchet T10 siege. And the thing that I want to keep in mind is I want to be able to move troops out to prevent myself from getting hit by certain rallies, because I am on the up high side of where you're going to get rallied. But as my KVK goes on, the more likely I will be rallied because my power will diminish, and most of my power will come out of my T11 infantry. So these are things that I keep in my mind when I think about how I want to play. So I'm gonna go to the chat here for a second. Not everyone has heroes at a level 100 to throw her on the walls. Test below 100 helps everyone. Yeah, and he's saying that little players are more, or when I look at it, more or just as important as he calls them credit card warriors. I appreciate credit card warriors because they help me pay for aspects of the game that I wouldn't get if it wasn't paid for by someone else. So I do appreciate them, and they also give me someone to challenge myself against. I have said for a very long time that I would love to play a game like this that was subscription based, where everybody's at the same level. But I realize that this is the bigger money grab, and this is how the games are right now. So I'm playing with the environment that I'm in. Skills are not sold in packs. I don't disagree with you, but the fact is this is a business to the game developers, and they're going to do the thing that's going to help their profit margin the most. So yes, that does not inherently give you more skills, but it gives you more resources, which obviously is going to give you an advantage. And the idea is that you don't want to give the people that pay so much of an advantage that no one will play. And then the people that pay won't want to play because they don't have anybody to test themselves against, because everyone's going to be too good. But enough about that. That's a whole like thing that everybody seems to get angry about, because the reality is it's just not a fun subject. It's a very not fun subject. Right. Any other questions? I have not dug into some of these battle reports. I think I might just kind of talk my way through some of them. Right. Let's look at some of these failures. I think failures tend to tell me a little more. Okay. This is not my report, so I'm just not even going to do that. That does not sound like a good idea. Someone's messaging me. Stop it. Let's see. Stop looking at my personal stuff, dudes. Am I going to burn some castles now? This is more of a hangout moment, and we're trying to kind of chill things out in my kingdom. We've been at war for quite some time, and we're just now slowly starting to calm things down. Sorry. Uh, um, yeah, we've been at war for a few months now, and things are maybe just starting to subside. Okay, let's look here. What do we have here? So this is a Gideon Jansen combo, and that's a very solid result. So uh, these results, in some regards, were much better prior to the update, but these are pretty good for getting rid of some troops really early for the other team, and it's also some good solid points. So that's a good hit. We already looked at that one. Here's some more. This is just kind of showing you Gideon Jansen's combo power. It's pretty strong. You're going up against, quite a few more troops than you have, and that's always a success. Now these duels, I mean, they're really really hard to win because it splits up your troops. So my biggest suggestion is don't either take them if you can, or try and if you know that they're going to do it with infantry, just try and keep your castle either really heavy archer or really heavy infantry with the best stats you can have, and that will help you the best to reduce your duels losses. So L4 Suicide, in my opinion, solos are easier in the update than rallies. Better kill to death ratio too. I can't disagree with you. I did not get the opportunity to solo really much at all in this last KVK because almost every single castle that was unbubbled was outside of my soloing power. I'm not a spender, so I don't have the same umph as some other castles might. I think that there's the really good heroes have definitely have the ability to pretty much destroy their whole dispatch, but get upwards of even a million plus kills um, in your solos, which was quite hard to do prior to the update. So in some regards, that's much better. But I also do think that if someone soloed my castle, uh, they wouldn't be getting the same amount of kills as if they were soloing castles with worse stats and worse builds. But I'd be happily proved wrong. You feel free to solo me at any time. I would love to see the results. Maybe you'll smack this grin off of my face. Um, let's see here. I got actually a dual successful here. So we're looking at a Renan Gideon combo. And let's just look here. Yeah, he didn't have the greatest stats. And yeah, it's a pretty decent ratio. You can look at a good chunk of my kills came from my T11 and my T11 infantry and T11 archers. So it is possible. You just gotta kind of try and pick and choose your results. Wow. Okay, so yeah, like this is like an example of a castle that you probably would never want to solo, but you can try and see what you can do with a rally. So this is difficult, but definitely this is just a lot of troops to attack into, and sometimes if they have bad enough stats, having that many troops isn't a problem. That just means more kills. But if the stats are good enough, they're high enough, all those extra troops will just in the end um, lead to losses, even though you still get a good chunk. That's a lost battle that we had there, but still, we didn't win. We got, I'm guessing, more power taken away. Um, hmm. Some more defense victories from reinforcing. I've been asked to not share reports that are not mine. So this is the hard part that I don't like. I don't like the fact that they changed that the win is decided by how many kills, because the problem is we could have killed off a whole bunch of T11. He could have killed off like a bunch of T10, and that really doesn't tell us who was more successful in the battle. I actually think in this regard we were less successful, even with him getting more kills, because I think we had more quality troops in the castle, in our rally, than what was in his castle. So that's an example of, you got to be really careful about what you expect as a win inside these reports, because that might not be a true win for sure. Oh, I wish I made more tea. I know there's quite a few people that like the Gideon Dolan combo. I'm personally not a big fan. I think that the attack, I do agree that attack plus Gideon's damage increase is really good, but the problem is that level 80, you're not getting that 35% damage increase anymore. At level 80, you're going to get, what is this? That's so small. 17.69. That is not even close to as good as 35%. So that damage buff is quite a bit smaller. And then that's compared against the defense. So 499 defense with a 523 attack. So we look at the differential there, and you're looking at a 24% attack damage that's going to be directly put to HP with a, what did I say, 16.69 damage buff on top of that. That's not a lot of damage, and that's exactly why we lost that battle and we didn't get that many kills. Because the differential isn't there. And that's not everything. You don't have to have exactly a great, huge, positive differential between attack and defense to get damage to go through. But the higher difference you can make between that is really good. But the problem is they attack back at you. And if your attack and your HP isn't very good, you're going to lose troops prior to being able to do even more damage again. I rambled quite a bit there. I apologize. Just some more Jansen Gideon combo. All right, here's one. I lost. Let's just look here. So I was quite low on my attack at 484, and a 507 defense and a 550 shieldman there. So we had nearly 150% HP difference, but that's still not going to make up for all the other stats that I'm lacking and the troop differential. If you can see here, it's a pretty small, I mean, they have double the troops and the stat differential is quite small, and the only upper hand that I have. And the only reason why I got 690 kills, or 690,000 in there, is because of that. L4 Suicide asked, you still liking Ogd? No. I'm quite disappointed with Ogd. I do think that he is a little better than immediately after the update. I think they messed something up on him. And his skill seems to be working a little better now. But Ogd is, I don't know what it is. Like, he's not working very good. He was working pretty great prior to the update. But now that we look at him, I don't know what they did. Like, I think that it has something to do with how with these with the troops and the HP difference. So what they kind of messed with how it won't let me hit this little question thing. So it shows the base stats, which I'm trying to pull up here. But I think that how everything works out, that and the increase in attacks and then the increase but decrease in T11 HP, it's messed a weird thing with the HP balance. But for some reason, Ogd is not working like I would hope he would. He seems like you're saying right now. L4 Suicide is saying supposedly his skill is just on paper now, not in game. Defense buff was added to make free players happy, but they took away skill. They said after the update that the skill has been reapplied. I think you are right. I think the skill was not on Ogd prior to or right after the update, but then they did a thing, and he did improve. I can see a big difference between Overlord and my KVK results in rallies, but still not to the degree that I would hope. Unfortunately, I don't see Ren as being a huge upgrade. I do like my Ren quite a bit, especially since he's free, but I am quite disappointed with Ogd because on paper he looks really great, but in practical use I've been quite disappointed. So I'm looking at alternate options for using him. I will probably end up going back to Ren overall, just because I think that I'd like to mess around more with adding archers into my rallies and not into solos, but just kind of starting to mix the troops about a little bit and see if I can find a sweet spot somewhere in there. I'm not holding my breath on that, but testing is one of the few joys that I get out of this, outside of just having fun and trying to smash a castle. But as I was saying, they messed with how the HP is. I mean, if you look at the difference between the HP between the troops, it's quite small margins. So I believe like the T10 siege right here, I mean, you're looking at only like a 200 HP difference, and that's huge difference than what it was before, when comparatively. So yeah, I think that Ogd for some reason is not working like it should, and I think it has more to do with the troops' HP than it does actually with his skill. But I could be wrong. I'm still looking for the answer on that, honestly. Alright, well, let's look at some more. Oh, I totally forgot about my trial. And I think that I was the only one to hit it. And it's gone. Oh well. Let's throw another one up. Maybe I can get some help. Then we'll get right back into the reports. Summon. I found that I like archers quite a bit when it comes to killing these things. So we'll just see how that goes. All right. Let's get back to those battle reports. Where was I? Yeah, I really did not have to do. I didn't have to do much for KVK because I almost got all the points I needed in those first 4 rallies that I took. And yeah, the wife and kids wanted to hang out, so just gonna do that. I think we looked at these already. All right, that was the one that I was just looking at. Tried it again, did a little better. And these are the beauty reports where they have really no reason taking a rally like this. We just smash them. And Gideon Jansen is really good at doing that. They are. They're at least. It's at least the top 3 combo in my mind. So the top 3 combo for me is. Let's go over to heroes. Okay. So my top 3 heroes, top 3 combos of heroes would be Bij Gideon, Arata Kona. I'm gonna go Kona. And then Jansen Gideon. Those are my top 3 hero combinations at this point. Some Cav players have been telling me that we've been doing it wrong and just wait and you'll see that cavalry is good, but I'm not holding my breath. I hope they prove me wrong because I really do think that cavalry got the short end of the stick here. Until then, I would say the best cavalry combo would be Cavan and was it Adrian? Adarian? Adarian? Okay. L4 Suicide says, what about T10 in rallies? Overlord, I saw a huge performance, but not in KVK. Oh, man. That was something I was wanting to do that I didn't get to test very much. Because there was a lot of players that would, in a rally, that would send straight T11, and then there were some that would send a small amount of T10 with a bunch of T11. That is how the developers want us to play, is with the T10 in front, that small layer, and then hitting through with the rest. I think you're right, man. I think it really matters. I think at least theoretically, that small bit of T10 in front doesn't hurt. I don't think that it's holding up your troops. If you put too much in, I think that it could affect your performance. Then again, I do think that you're more likely to be countered directly by archers prior to your infantry even hitting if you're not using T10 in a rally. So, if you're going up against a pure infantry castle, then theoretically I don't think you need the T10. But if they have any, I would say 600,000 plus archers, you may see a difference by not having the T10. I would need to dig deeper into the reports, but from the reports I've seen that aren't mine and also my own, I would say a small amount of T10 would be useful in majority of rallies. Um, and I mean a small amount. I know my number for the amount of T10 continuously goes down. I think that the overall goal in a rally is to have at the most about 200,000 T10. So, depending on how many people are joining your rally, you may want to go anywhere from 10,000 each to maybe 20,000, depending on how big the dispatches are and how many people are joining. So I think that about 200,000 T10 is about the max you would want. Um, Maybe barring if you're going up against archers. Uh, yeah. Elena, I can't read that. Just bring here. My daughter's here. Yeah. So that's my opinion on this. Uh, yeah, honey, you have free time. You got 19 minutes. All right. So yeah, I mean that's kind of my opinion on that. I am less and less impressed with any kind of heroes that don't have a skill on it though. Like Faceless Knight is solid, but it does not have the same impact as it once had. Uh, Skills with really high stats are super dangerous because the higher the stats, uh, the better the skill works. And so things like Raffi, where they used to be much more effective, because really, I mean, if you look at it, he really does have pretty dang good stats on this because you got attack and defense at 62.58. And if you compare that to what's on Faceless Knight, yeah, you get the HP, which I think is a little better, but you're still a little bit below that. Raffi gives you a pretty huge stat boost, but because it doesn't have a special ability really, you aren't getting as much out of it as you would with another. Now that's where Ogd is like kind of bad on the wall because yeah, he gives you these huge defense and HP buff, but his skill is nowhere to be found. Do so a lot of my team has little to no T11 at the end of a KVK because we're a rally kingdom at this point. We don't have a lot of we're not a high spending kingdom, so we don't have a lot of those umph solo heroes. So we do a lot of rallies, and that can really eat up your infantry really fast. Seth wants to point out that support officially states that Ogre's skill does not work on the wall. I think we all knew that, but support did for a time say that his ability did work on the wall, which was total horse manure. Um, I don't think it ever worked on the wall. I think they just don't know the game very well. But that is the official answer now by the Rise of Kings overlords. So yeah, that is where I'm at. I think that I might just need to start soloing these on my own. The time we are doing. I'm just gonna, even though that's not gonna do very much damage. We're doing Grim right now, and I am not a just huge person. It's a whole lot about the setup and not about. It's not about much. It was fun at the beginning because you were trying to help your team while also trying to get as points possible that you can range because everybody else they can get through the hardest mode of Grim, no problem. At least at my age of my kingdom. So, yeah. All right. Yay. So, Seth's saying, apparently support isn't allowed to play the game they service. Um, you know, if they don't want to play the game, that's fine, but you work on it, so you should at least know the ins and outs. Up for Suicide says, yeah, man, I mean, Gideon Jansen at 677 did very well against high 780s or 90s archers, Kona and Arata. 1 million kills compared to 1.2 on either side. I think against a lower archer player, it would have won. Yeah, I'd say if you're going to have the best chance of beating the Arata I think Jansen is going to give you a pretty dang good chance. Definitely Bij and I've seen Bij and the Gideon combo work, but typically it's due to a larger rally size. So at those high stats, when you're using the ultimate hero combos, dispatch size definitely plays a very large factor. L4 Suicide says, I think why Cavalry isn't winning is their skills just suck compared to archer infantry. Their hero skills, or is it the skills of the troops? I think it might be both. So here's my theory, and from the reports that I've read and everything else, I'm comfortable in putting out this theory as a good summary of what's going on with Cavalry. So Cavalry has a special ability that allows them to charge behind the and direct smash archers in the face. Hey Shadow, how's it going, man? Just doing this thing, man. Just doing it. So this is a troop ability, and I gotta admit, when you read it, it's really dope. It's pretty sweet. I believe it is this top one. So charge deals 25% and deals 25% and 30% damage to 25% damage, I'm guessing, to bowmen, and 30% damage to crossbowmen. That reads really weird. Deals 25% and 30% extra damage to bowmen and crossbowmen, respectively, with a 36% chance to attack whichever enemy unit is furthest towards the rear, with the exception of Lancers. That last line is weird. Has anyone else really read that through and then read the last part? And really, I really need to send this to the developers and see what they say, because that last line, with the exception of Lancers, chance to attack whichever unit is furthest towards the rear. So is it saying that it wouldn't attack fellow Lancers if they were the furthest in the rear, or are you saying that the Lancers won't charge whichever unit is in the furthest towards the rear? That's really confusing. I really need to dig into that, because that doesn't read right. But if they do it like uh, these cavalry should charge behind and attack the first thing in the rear, which is interesting considering if you look at the infantry skill and the archer will go directly to their counter troops. I will get right back to this in 1 second. Shadow, we have not heard nothing about merge. Unfortunately, they have other things that they're prioritizing on the game. I don't think the merge really makes them much money. And I think that they've been trying to make super kingdoms, which would encourage big spenders to outspend each other, which has made quite a few kingdoms very upset. Okay. So Seth is weighing in on this. They're saying it will charge whatever is in the rear except for other lancers. It won't charge against lancers is how I read it. I think that makes sense, but it's not definitive that it reads that way. It definitely doesn't. It does not directly say. They could have said, we'll deal. I guess, yeah, you could read it that way, and that would make sense. So what would they do? They just stop? Or they would just charge into the cavalry? Huh. Maybe they put that in there so that way two sets of cavalry that are charging, as you were, don't hit each other while charging? I don't know. I'm not going to speculate further. Shadow, you're in one of the new kingdoms. That has to be an experience. But okay, going back to this, so it's interesting because both archers and infantry directly have a chance to directly attack their counterparts. Alas, cavalry does not. They attack the thing furthest in the rear. So you have elementals, you have T10 siege, and then you have archers. So they're not only countering, they have to go through siege first before they even get to the archers. So that makes that a little bit harder. I don't think that's exactly fair. So we're looking at one of the because of the infantry. So as you can see here, they have that's armor, assault. So assault has a 38% chance to attack cavalry directly. I believe that part of the problem is the assault ability is being activated and is utilized while cavalry are charging. So technically, in my mind, the charge should negate at least the troops that are charging the assault that would be happening from the T11. But I don't think that's the case. I think the assault is still hitting the cavalry directly and negating the charge that would be happening to the rear. Maybe there's times where I've seen reports where the T11 doesn't hit really the cavalry at all. And I think that's the case where their assault didn't activate. And I've always noticed when it doesn't activate, it usually doesn't activate because there's a small amount of spearmen in the castle, in the rally, or whatever else. So I think that's the issue. I think that is something they could fix. I think that they could say, hey, if these are charging, they can't be assaulted by the T11. and I don't know if they have to mess with the battle mechanics for that to happen, but I think to put cavalry back on the map, back into a reasonable place, that is what they need to do. Okay, L4 Suicide says, I think T9 Cav behind certain archer heroes, they're not Lancers. Yeah, I do agree. The charge would affect the T9 Cav as well. Shadow's talking about his kingdom. It's peaceful, really fun. We're lucky we merged with kingdoms that had castles we owned, so we're even bigger. So some of us had castles and stuff. So you're saying that you already had some of you guys have had castles in the kingdoms that you merged with? That's a little funky. I all right. I'm going to just throw in my 2 cents because, hey, it's my stream. I was going to do the merge. What I would do would be, I would take a batch of kingdoms that really need to, change, that they're dying and they need to reinvigorate them, and I'd put them into a block, and then let those kingdoms kind of float between maybe like 4 kingdoms, all the players, and then find their own homes, and then they sit in those kingdoms and they lock it up. I think that would be cool. I think that would be fair. Now, there's always the chance that everybody would be like, hey, let's all go in one kingdom. But you would have to probably put some kind of limit or something like that. Maybe this is just wishful thinking, and that was just right off the top of my head. I haven't really put much thought into it because I'm pretty much just going to take what they give me. Maybe I'll get into game design sometime in my next life. But yeah, just thinking out loud. Any other questions? Throughout this whole stream, and I've killed, what? Have I even killed one? I don't think I've even killed one. What is this? I need to work on my presets. I have not been focusing on my presets. Working on my presets. Yeah, so KVK was really good and rough all at the same time. I had a lot of fun because I had some really good intentions that I had within the whole entire KVK, but a majority of it was just rally, bubble. They can take it, bubble, rally, port. It was not what you typically want, and almost every castle was either bubbled 80 million, 60 million plus, and those are completely out of solo range for me. So, I mean, once you get wonderful bubbled castles that I'm like, drop the shield, drop the shield, drop the shield. So yeah. Sorry I haven't given you better fun visuals on my screen here. It's just mostly you guys hearing my ranting voice throughout this whole entire thing. So yeah. Gonna let this awkward silence just permeate a bit longer. Did I finally kill that sucker? Yay! We did it, guys. Move on to the next one. Should have tried to get on while I could this morning, afternoon, when everybody else was rallying these suckers, but alas, I did not. Shadow. Yeah, I don't solo. I join rallies. My big guys, we 100 million legendary 4s and 5s. I'm sure you'd probably get me, but I would sure try. I like to see where my limits are. I do think that there's some that might get upset that have tried to rally. I was like, I want to make sure that I have troops, a decent amount of troops to kind of play to. I would like to be like, oh yeah, you got me, and Overlord done. Even though I'd get my rewards, but I do enjoy playing over just getting the rewards. Otherwise, might as well just play Farmville or something. I'm wanting to look. Do they have that's Field of Honor? I'm seeing if they have the rewards up yet for. I haven't looked. Yeah. Trying to think about what I might want to get for the championship points. Oh, do they not have the rewards up, guys? Yeah, Jess has been a really good friend to me in Kingdom 209. She's helped me out a lot. Good friend, her and her husband, Mid. So, what does everybody think? Thrown 10 gems, and majority of the times I don't get gems back. But sometimes you get unlucky and it does not work out for you. So, but let's do it. Let's see what I get. I wish they would. Sometimes they'll let you just like throw the gems in. Other times they don't. Man. I'm trying to reserve my gems a little bit and make it last till the next Overlord. I have already bought my Overlord tickets. The next. So I'm not too concerned about that, but it does eat up the gens quite fast. All right, wish me luck, guys. Let's see what we got here. I'm always low on gems. That's the curse of being a not a high spender. All right, I got some of those potions. I'll turn into a errata. IA 100. Oh. Man, I don't think that's worth 10,000 gems. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. That's sure borderline. What do you guys think? So Shadow, a majority of what my gems go to. That's definitely where a majority of my skills go. Well, guys, that was not. But let's look at what I got in the store. So I got 19 of these things. One more, and I can get 2 errata shards. So that's. Ugh. Goodness gracious. That is a lot. That is a lot of freaking gems for small amounts of shards. Man. Is it just a box to get the reward box? Is that how that works? Here's the problem is okay. So if you spend the buck, you get 4 orange shards and 1 550. I mean, that's not the worst. Here's my problem is, okay. My problem is Cavalry kind of sucks now, as I had stated earlier. And my two places where my orange shards would go at this point, and at this point, I'm almost hoping. Um, at this point, I have Adrian to put my blanks in. I have about 140 blanks that I've built up over a long period of time. Uh, as a non-spender, orange blanks are pretty hard to get. A little bit easier now with some of the rewards they've been putting out, but I don't really care to have Faceless as much. I mean, he's a great secondary hero to have, uh, but his usefulness is not where I would like it to be. I mean, I would still utilize him, but I still can't get him to orange shards. And I can't get her to 120 either. And Cavalry kind of sucks right now, so I don't want to spend it on there. So right now I'm just sitting on my orange shards. So that is my current personal problem. So that is where I'm at. Oh, my VIP just vanished. This is where I move into my 1-day VIPs because now I'm waiting to build up for power up for with my VIP. I don't want to go. You, Amelia, it's time for bed, babe. Yes, go to bed. Yeah, if you're 4 shards away from maxing Adrian, I would just do it for sure. Uh, Cartel or Cartel? I don't know. This guy. I'm not even gonna go into this guy. Oh man, people in their pride and everything else. It's a game. It's a game, y'all. Like we all need to not take things so personally. Well, let's see. This guy off. Then I'm gonna call it on the stream. I think for all for hanging out with me. I just kind of wanted to hang out, see if you guys had any questions. Unfortunately, I didn't get as many questions as I was hoping. I mean, the questions could have ranged from game related to non-game related. I really don't care. Um, you could ask me, do you like long walks on the beach? And I would have told you yes. Um, but yeah, maybe I'm gonna do a couple more of these. I'm sure they're not going to be vastly popular, but uh, I think it's fun to just give opportunity to hang out with everybody and you guys see how lazy I am when it comes to. I really like to think about mechanics and stuff and how troops interact and all that stuff and kind of deal. I mean, they can solo me, I guess, if they want to. If they rally, then I'll probably just not take it, and that's not a big deal. Don't really feel like losing any troops, and really does. Oh, this dude should be dead right about meow. Oh, what What is this guy saying? Is he just going on his own rant? You are a wonderful and dignified man. I appreciate you, Mr. DK. 2 thumbs up. In a civil war for quite. Miss Chase, you were just here to comment. I got. I don't know why I'm amusing myself so much by just reading in certain ways. None of this stuff is fun. Do me a favor and stop the attack. Asuna! Jesus. Oh my gosh. Yes, people, this is how my brain works when I read chats. I can't take anything like set. I'm just like read it in like a funny voice. Well, good morning, sunshine. Where's the night? My homie's right here next to me, bro. Mike Castle, mid. We're home. And we don't tell you behind closed. No, I'm not going there. I'm not going. God damn it. And then there's my my Jess. Yeah, we're close knit. We have fun. Oh, silly. This stuff. Okay, guys. Thank you all for watching. Is he going more? The weather is really hot, very hot, and oppressive. Like you were. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Everyone that commented and just interacted with me, I really appreciate it. That is really what I wanted to do here. Maybe show you guys off. Thank you for the fireworks, Med. Thank you for interacting with me. That was really what I wanted to do here. I wanted to answer or give you my opinion on more questions, but maybe next time I'll get more of those. Try and get some pre-done questions so that I can have complete answers next time. Yeah, I had fun. I think that the next time I'll have even more fun. And next hangout I'll do will be just as loosey goosey as. And thanks for hanging out, guys. I am very, very soon going to be doing some freaking rewards for you guys. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I've wanted to appreciate you guys in that way, and I'm finally getting the opportunity to. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be trying to put out videos and streaming again soon. I don't know if I'll do another hangout but I should be streaming on Overlord. Hopefully it's not at 3 a.m. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for watching.